The year was 603 BC. Nebuchadnezzar, the mighty king of Babylon, had a dream. It was vivid and disturbing, filled with strange images that left him troubled. A dream of future implications. He couldn't shake the feeling that this was no ordinary dream, but could not remember the content of the dream. This was a direct message from God, a prophecy of things to come. Determined to understand the dream and its meaning, he summoned his wisest advisors. They came eager to please their king, but their efforts proved futile. None could interpret the dream. Frustrated and afraid, Nebuchadnezzar's anger grew. Nebuchadnezzar's advisors were baffled. They pleaded with the king to simply tell them the dreams, and they would interpret it. Surely, with his guidance, they could provide an interpretation. But Nebuchadnezzar was adamant. They had professed to understand dark mysteries. He believed that as wise men of his court, they should be able to reveal the dream itself, as well as its meaning. His frustration reached a boiling point. He decreed that all the wise men of Babylon, including Daniel and his companions, would be put to death. Daniel, a young Jewish captive taken to Babylon years earlier, was known for his wisdom and his unwavering faith in God. When he heard of the king's decree, he didn't panic. He knew that his God was able to reveal the secrets of even the most powerful rulers. With a calmness that belied the gravity of the situation, Daniel, after prayer and speaking to his 3 close friends, approached the king and asked for time to pray for divine wisdom. He promised that he would not only reveal the dream, but also provide its interpretation. Nebuchadnezzar, desperate for answers, granted Daniel's request. Daniel and his companions went to prayer, seeking God's guidance. And God, faithful to his promise, revealed the dream and its interpretation to Daniel in a vision. Filled with gratitude and awe, Daniel praised God for his mercy and faithfulness. He knew that this was not just a personal victory, but an opportunity to demonstrate God's power and sovereignty to the entire Babylonian Empire. Standing before Nebuchadnezzar, Daniel confidently recounted the king's dream. He described a colossal statue made of different metals. Its head was of fine gold, its chest and arms of silver, its belly and thighs of bronze, its legs of iron, and its feet partly of iron and partly of clay. Then a rock, not cut by human hands, struck the statue's feet, shattering it into pieces. Daniel explained that each metal represented a different kingdom inferior than the fists that would rise to power in the future. The golden head represented Nebuchadnezzar's own Babylonian Empire, the most powerful kingdom of its time. But like all earthly kingdoms, Babylon's reign would not last forever. Nebuchadnezzar listened intently as Daniel revealed the meaning behind the golden head. He felt a surge of pride, knowing that his kingdom was the first and the most glorious in the prophecy. Daniel's words confirmed what Nebuchadnezzar had always believed. Babylon was destined for greatness. Its wealth, power, and splendor were unmatched. Yet, even as Daniel spoke of Babylon's glory, he hinted at its inevitable decline. The golden head, though magnificent, was only a part of a much larger statue. Other kingdoms, represented by the other metals, would follow Babylon, each rising to prominence before fading away into the annals of history. Daniel went on to describe the next two kingdoms, the Medo-Persian Empire, represented by the silver chest and arms, and the Greek Empire, represented by the bronze belly and thighs. He spoke of their conquests, their rulers, and their eventual downfalls. He explained how each kingdom would be greater than its predecessor, yet each would eventually crumble, just as the statue in the dream. Nebuchadnezzar found it hard to imagine a power greater than Babylon. But Daniel's words carried an undeniable weight, a sense of inevitability that sent a shiver down the king's spine. It was a sobering reminder that even the mightiest empires were subject to the passage of time and the shifting tides of power. Section 6. Iron and Clay. The Roman Empire and its enduring legacy. The fourth kingdom, represented by the legs of iron, would be unlike any that came before it. This was the Roman Empire, a vast and mighty power known for its iron-fisted rule and its impressive infrastructure. Daniel spoke of its strength and its ability to crush even the strongest of its enemies. However, even the mighty Roman Empire would have its weaknesses. Daniel described the feet of the statue, made partly of iron and partly of clay. This symbolized the divided nature of the Roman Empire in its later years, its inability to fully unify its vast territories and diverse peoples. Section 7, A Kingdom Unbreakable, God's Eternal Reign. Then came the most astonishing part of the dream, the rock uncut by human hands that struck the statue's feet, smashing them to pieces. Daniel explained that this rock represented the kingdom of God, a kingdom unlike any other. It would not be established by human hands or by human effort. This kingdom would be established by God himself, and it would stand forever. Nebuchadnezzar was stunned. He had never heard anything like it. He had always believed that his gods were fickle and that their favor could be won or lost. But Daniel was describing a God who was in complete control, a God who was establishing his own kingdom, a kingdom that would never be destroyed. Section 8. Preparing for the future. The importance of understanding prophecy. Daniel's interpretation of Nebuchadnezzar's dream wasn't just a history lesson. It was a message of hope and a call to action. Understanding Bible prophecy, like the prophecy Daniel reveals, God's hand in the movement of nations, the rise and fall of nations, leading to the coming of Jesus. We are called to recognize God's hand in human history and aligning our lives with His will. By studying prophecy, we gain a broader perspective on current events. We see that we are not just living through random events, but through a divinely orchestrated plan. This knowledge can give us comfort in times of uncertainty and strength in times of trial. It reminds us that God is working out His purposes, even when we can't see the full picture. Section 9. Drawing closer to God. Finding hope and assurance in His Word. Most importantly, prophecy points us to the God who holds the future in His hands. By studying prophecy, we are reminded of His faithfulness, His sovereignty, and His unfailing love. This knowledge can inspire us to live lives of purpose and meaning, knowing that we are part of something much greater than ourselves. Prophecy is a powerful tool for spiritual growth. It challenges us to examine our hearts, to turn away from sin, and to live in a way that honors God. It reminds us that our true citizenship is in heaven and that we are called to be ambassadors for Christ in a world that desperately needs His hope and His love.